everyone. Welcome to Accidental Experts. We're your hosts. I'm Dani.
And I'm Tay, and we are not dating.
Everyone has a misconception. Honestly, everyone thinks we're dating. This episode, I'm so excited because we're going to be chatting with this amazing human being. Her name's Camille, and I've been following her for a really, really long time. I think we go way back. I mean, I don't even think she knows we go way back, but I know we go way back.
And it's really cool because she has two different platforms where she has a following and she posts different things on them. And so we're going to get into it with her on how does she manage payment on different platforms and how does she manage hate for being a vintage reseller?
Yeah, I mean, she kind of gives us a scoop of how it was working at her regular job compared to what she's making now. And she really was really honest. There was so much tea. We talked about everything. I feel like we covered everything of being a social media influencer and content creator. I don't like to say influencer, but this is spicy. So
let's get into it.
We are currently inside Camille's home. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for letting us in
here.
I feel like once we opened the door and walked in, it was just a bit of an awe moment. Like all the pieces you have sourced, like clearly they're vintage and each one is special and they look like it. They look so good.
It's just so nicely curated. I mean, you know, like Tay and I, we decorate and we are surrounded by so much furniture. And I'm like now realizing because we were sitting here like prepping everything, and I think this might be my favorite style.
Oh, 100%. This is your style.
Yes,
like this is Dani to a T.
Well, I love it so much, and I appreciate you having us and showing us your home. And thanks for being here. So, I just love to talk to you about how you got into decorating and selling vintage furniture. Well, home decor mostly.
So it was, I'm going to kind of set the scene. It was 2020 and this was pre-pandemic, by the way.
Okay.
Well, so it's like January, February.
Yes.
Okay.
February to be exact. I was going through my things and this was before I started my business. I decided to start an Instagram account to start offloading my things. Maybe my followers would want to buy some of my old thrift finds. And my friend had gotten laid off of her job at the time, and she has very, very similar interests to me. So I invited her to join onto the account with us, and we just started posting our thrift finds that we wanted to get rid of. You know, I don't have space for this. I have too many candle holders. I have too many art pieces. And slowly over time, the account kind of just started to blow up, and that's kind of how it all began.
So you started selling your own things at first?
Yes, it started with my own things, and then when it started to blow up and turn into like an actual job is when like we took it full time, you know.
So you really accidentally fell into this.
I accidentally fell into this
and now it's
February
a
of
career.
2020.
Oh
but
my
then,
God.
But then
COVID happened
Yeah.
The next month. So it was very hard to find things. You know, we were going on Craigslist and estate sales had stopped, you know.
And thrift market stopped.
Thrift stopped too. So we had to be very crafty with how we were finding things. So it was a lot of like heavy research, and it was a lot of picking things up outdoors, like in front of people's doors, placing the cash like under their bat and just like trusting the process, you know?
Yes, like not interacting with the sellers at all.
interaction.
Not getting to see it beforehand. Like before you could walk into someone's house, see if you are really into it.
Or them trusting you to leave the item outside that you'd even pay them, you know?
leaving the money. Like
There
that,
was
yeah,
a
it was
lot
a
of
trust
in the process.
Wow. And so tell us a little bit about like how it is working with so you have a business partner.
Yes, I do. Yuka, she's awesome. I actually met her on Instagram years and years ago. We were like Instagram friends.
Oh, so you didn't personally know her?
No, I didn't. It's actually kind of funny. We have a 10-year age gap. So when she met me, I had just like newly turned 21 and she was 31, I think, at the time. So she took me out for my very first like mimosa.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's quite funny how it happened actually. But yeah, I think that was like 4 years before we started our business. So we had been friends for kind of a little bit before that.
So why did you want to bring her onto this thing you were doing? Like, why not just do it yourself?
I honestly was just like, this is going to be more fun with a friend involved.
Yeah.
It's not fun doing things by yourself all the time.
We get it.
We get it.
So much
You
fun
get
with
it.
a friend.
You totally get it. It's better doing things that you're passionate about with other people that
And
are
who
also
share the same passion.
Yeah, exactly.
And also internet friends, the best friends. Honestly. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Like I didn't know Tay. And we were talking for like a year online, and then I just happened to go to San Francisco
She
and
got
meet
a
her.
one-way
She
flight.
could have been like flat out like an old ass man, like opening that door. Like
I could have catfished her. And because the plan was she's staying in my house indefinitely while we did a project together. We had never met before.
That's seriously how it is, though. Especially as a freelancer nowadays, I meet all of my new friends off of the internet. Like, it's so rare that we meet organically in like a setting that's not predestined online, you know?
And I feel like being in a place like LA, it happens more often. I feel like in Miami, I don't really meet anyone from online. But because, I don't know, I feel like it's like smaller. But LA is cool and everyone's online in LA.
It's really hard as adults to make friends. Like my friends from back home, like in Hawaii, it's like a small town. Everyone knows each other. But when they move, they're like, how the hell do I make a friend? I'm in a giant city. Like, I'm not in school anymore. How do you interact with humans? Like, it feels so awkward to try and make friends when you're older. And I feel like now internet friends are becoming the norm when we were kids,
that
we
was
were told,
weird.
Do not talk to people online. They're going to kidnap you. And it's like completely flipped. And like, you can find that exact niche of people who are into what you're into to make like the best connections with.
Exactly. I was just talking to my boyfriend about this too. I was like, thank God I'm not online dating right now. Like, I'm so glad I found you because that does not sound fun.
But
like,
it's even crazier because I mean, I have friends who have been dating for so long and they literally met on Tinder or like
and
all
it's
these
so
apps.
normal now.
Yeah,
Whereas,
it's super
like,
normal.
Because I'm in San Francisco, and so apps, they all kind of like started there. So right when Tinder started, I had friends who were going on dates, and I was like, oh my God, you're going to be kidnapped. Like, oh my God, you're meeting a man
now it's
from
like,
an
oh.
app? And now it's like, yeah, everyone meets their
Cool.
partner on the internet. It's so normal.
Yeah. Oh my God. So can you talk to us a little bit more about Resonant Objects?
yes. So we started out as an Instagram store. So you had to DM to order.
Which is so messy.
And it was very messy. We had a lot of DMs all the time. It was getting really chaotic to manage. You know, we were constantly on the clock, if you know what I mean, like laying in bed, like, oh, someone wants this. It's 10 p.m., but I'm going to do this order for you right now, versus people casually ordering off of a website, you know, at their own leisure.
Which is amazing. And how did you do the transition from just selling your own things to sourcing items?
It kind of
and selling?
happened kind of suddenly, you know, like, I'm sure you guys love thrifting, you know, you're always looking. And, you know, you find something. I don't have space for that, but great for the website, you know, like,
and
very cool.
Thrifting, it's like when you thrift and you find something amazing, you're like, okay, I need this. I do not have the space, but I need it. And that means I go home and I have to get rid of something else.
Exactly.
Or
It's
also,
like a constant cycle.
But I also see things that wouldn't quite fit inside my house. But I'm like, it's so sad that it's just going to stay here at a thrift store. Like, I would love to just buy it and share it with someone, like give it to my friend or something. So I think it's really cool that that's what you do. Like, you find these gems and you find these really cool items and then share it with the world. And now someone in Nebraska can have your amazing Shell vintage Art Deco lamp, you know, which I think is also really cool. And literally standing in your house, like, you have the coolest curation. And so how do you deal with like juggling and trying not to keep all the things for yourself?
I keep a lot of it. You'd be surprised.
Can I know more about the thing in front of us, the sperm piggy bank?
The sperm piggy bank. That was
It's
actually
a giant sperm.
That's merchandise that I kept.
I understand why. I understand.
Yeah, I never knew I would need a sperm piggy bank on my coffee table, but there it is.
I love it.
I found it originally like in the box that it came in. It's from the 80s, I believe. I just couldn't let it go.
Okay, let's see that. And is there anything in this? Is there
There's
money?
bank in it. Or sorry, there's money in it.
Oh my God. I love that. It's just like literally exactly just a huge white sperm as a piggy bank. Whatever you guys are thinking,
I
it
dreamed
looks
of
like
this
that's what it looks
as
like.
a child. I manifested this.
Yes.
I love that. And so, what has been your favorite item you've found?
It's actually standing kind of behind you guys. It's that big shell mirror. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Oh,
I got that, I think, for 20 or 25 bucks. I'm trying to remember.
Oh my gosh.
This woman, she had bought it in the 80s and she originally had it as kind of like her altar. And when I came to pick it up, she was like, I'm so done with this. Like, I do not want to see it anymore. Please take it. So at the time, I had a little Volkswagen Beetle and her two sons carried the mirror out and they were like, this isn't going to fit in your tiny little Beetle. So I drove all the way. I think I got it in like Anaheim or something. I drove back to LA with it, like hanging above my head.
Oh
Oh my god.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, no, it was very dangerous.
No
but
one try this at home.
I traded my Beetle in so I could get a bigger car to
Yeah.
haul things around.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. So do you do most sourcing in LA?
Yeah. Well, not anymore. It's a little picked over. I go to Palm Springs a lot, Riverside.
That's far.
My family's in the Bay Area, so I'm up there all the time. So
And then just driving back with things.
just
Oh my
driving
God.
back. I
So
drove all over.
when you're doing this and you're listing these items, how do you choose their prices? I mean, I know there's some that you could find online because some things resell for so much because it has so much meaning and, value. But, like random things, like, do you normally compare prices or how do you price your items?
I do compare and I try to make them fair. I'm not trying to make bank off of these things. I'm kind of just trying to,
You're going on market price.
yeah, I'm trying to give them a nice home. I'm not trying to overprice anything, I want my brand to be accessible to everyone.
Yeah, which is
Like the average person could go on and find something that they want to buy.
I want to ask you about the average person finding you because you said that your page kind of just blew up by accident. Is there a post or a video that specifically was kind of the cause of that, of you getting traction and attention online, which then kind of fueled your new career?
Thinking back about it, I can't pinpoint it.
It
to
wasn't
an
like one
exact
viral
post.
thing.
No, it wasn't. It was kind of crazy because at the time, there were days where we were getting like tens of thousands of followers all in one day. It was
Whoa.
crazy. Like, we didn't put
my
any
God.
ad money behind anything. It was all organic. To this day, we've never run ads. It's
That's
like kind of a
insane.
miracle.
so
to be
it's kind of
honest.
like a bunch of little videos like getting
Yeah.
views and
Well, at the time, Instagram I don't think had reels yet, so it was actually just photos.
oh,
it was all
not
photos.
even TikTok?
No,
Instagram.
I joined. We're not really on TikTok really yet. I kind of post here and there. We're still mostly like Instagram based.
I mean, yeah, you're doing so well on it. Yeah.
I need to work more on our TikTok, honestly. Like, it's kind of dead right now.
well,
but-
maybe TikTok's dying.
That's so crazy.
No, it's not. It's not. If anything, it's Instagram.
But so I'm assuming people were finding you on like the Instagram For You page. Like, what would you call that? Like the
The Explore
recommended
page.
the Explore
Yeah.
page, which I actually am obsessed with that
Oh,
page.
my Explore page knows me so well.
Oh my God. I
I
find
love it.
all the like small designers. Like, I think that's the
Yeah.
only reason why my entire wardrobe is small. Well, not why. I love small
But
designers.
it does a great job at sourcing, smaller creators in your
Yes.
Explore feed that you get to learn about.
That's the only way I find smaller designers. Because if not, I don't know.
Yeah.
On TikTok, probably. But
Yeah.
oh my God, I love that page. So that's probably how people are finding you,
Yeah.
because I also get a lot of like home decor, vintage home decor, and like furniture and stuff. That's super cool.
No, we're super thankful to have the audience that we have. It was literally like life-saving, especially my business partner was laid off. She didn't have a job. This was her income source, and eventually it became mine when I quit my toxic job to do it full time.
Did
Congrats,
you?
congrats.
So what were you in before? Were you?
I was a social media manager.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's like you're made for this. That's crazy.
So you know a little bit about how to manage social media.
yeah, it
A
wasn't just
little
like
bit.
it wasn't like, oh, by accident we just ended up getting tons of views. It's like you had training and education and like knowledge in this field that helped you, and like you did the work. It wasn't like entirely accidental.
Yeah, in a
So-
way.
Well, accidental that you started selling furniture, but you were definitely working
Yeah,
hard
you
to get
worked
those
for it.
views. And so did you go to school?
I went to FITM. I don't know if you
Okay.
guys are
Yes.
familiar. Fashion
Super cool.
Institute, Design and Merchandising.
Highly respected.
They were recently bought out by Arizona State University.
I did not know that.
So I think FITM San Francisco, they're going to be gone.
Oh my
Yeah.
What does that even mean? Like they're just like vanishing the school?
It's
ASU?
being kind of incorporated into ASU. So I was looking and my major is gone. Like my
Oh my
major is
God.
no longer
What was your
existing.
major?
Visual communications.
Cool.
So kind of I went to school basically to learn how to do window displays for stores.
Oh,
And
that's
then as soon
merchandising.
as I graduated, retail kind of started dying. And I switched to e-commerce.
God. It
So,
worked out.
Yeah, I was doing visuals at Bloomingdale's for a little bit, so that was
Whoa.
fun, but I switched to online because that's kind of where things are going.
That's so funny. That being a visual merchandiser was my dream job when I was in high school.
Specifically for anthropology.
Oh, obviously they have the best
Yeah.
jobs. Those specific people who have that job in Athro, they get to do the most fun projects. In high school, I worked for American Apparel, which RIP, and I got to do the visual merchandising for the storefronts. And I was a teenager, and I was like, oh my God, this is so fun. Imagine I get to travel the world doing storefronts for all the American Apparel stores.
And now you're traveling the world doing cool other home decor
Yes,
things.
exactly. And American Apparel is no more.
Yeah.
But it's
It
no
all works
more.
out. It all works out.
It's so sad. I actually really liked that store at the time.
Well, they
but
basically just rebranded as Los Angeles Apparel.
it's
so
fine. They're
they're
fast
still
fashion.
there.
I don't care.
yes, you're fully vintage.
fully
girly.
like secondhand girly. But yeah, how do you feel about that? Do you ever buy new things, or do you normally just buy secondhand and vintage?
I, at this point in my life, try to only purchase secondhand, but just because I'm kind of just over all of these trends and everything's been done before. So if I'm going to buy something new, it's probably already existed before. So I'm going to go looking for it used.
all the replicas, like all the furniture
Yeah.
replicas and decor replicas. It's so sad. It's so sad.
There is something that we could talk about that's a bit touchy. The hot topic around vintage.
Ooh, I know what you're about
and
to
how
say.
you have gotten so much hate for it. But we could use this as an educational moment
Okay.
of like talking about how people have a misconception or like a lot of hate around vintage sellers.
Like reselling vintage.
Yeah.
I am very passionate about this topic.
Let's
because
go.
I just opened a vintage clothing store with my best friend. And so obviously that consists of reselling stuff. And people online hate resellers for anything, honestly.
I was curious if you were going to bring this up. I was very curious.
Will she talk about it?
Will she talk about it? But first I want to hear your experience. Have you ever received hate online?
I have. We have many times. I try. It's a very hard argument to have online. People are very assertive on their viewpoint of it. It's kind of like even if you explain the situation, they might just never agree with you.
Yeah, never. That's why I haven't talked about it online, because no matter what you say, and even if you're making sense and you're totally right because it's facts, they don't care. So I'm like, I'm not gonna do it. I think I'll get more hate if I respond.
Yeah. I think for me, like, and you guys probably too, I go to so many thrift stores, so many estate sales, and they're all bursting at the seams with things, just things like clothing, items, furniture, you know.
And
like,
a lot of it ends up in landfill.
it does. It really does. And people want to argue that it doesn't, but a lot of it does. I mean, I saw a TikTok maybe like a year or two ago of this like beautiful chicklet sofa that they found at the Goodwill bins on its last day.
Last day.
Last day. And it's like you could argue like that if a reseller didn't come and pick it up, it like
No, it does. It
you know
ends up.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, like from a thrift store, it'll end up somewhere else. So like another thrift store or the bins, and then after that lifetime, if it does
It's
not
done.
go, it's done, and they throw it away, which is so sad. And I mean, I know so many people who go to the bins, and that's where you find like the real good things, which is crazy to think about because it was already at a nicely curated thrift store,
and nobody
no
wanted
one
it
bought
there.
it, and now people are finding out the bins, which was just like before its death going to the landfill. And then and I mean, I think it's really crazy how much things are thrown away, and even like, and literally the landfills are so full, there's like nowhere to put any more things. Like, even I love to also talk about like furniture and stuff, like with all these trends going on with furniture, so many people are buying new things and then they move out in 1 year and throw away, you know, like that thing, and it's also horrible for our landfills. So that's why like also reselling furniture and home decor is just as important, you know. He's just like
No,
staring at
I'm
me.
literally just thinking about how your video that went viral for the hate, and then
Yeah.
you turned off the comments, and that makes people even more mad.
So a little bit about the video they're talking about. I opened a vintage clothing store. So we sell all vintage from literally like, vintage means 20 years or more.
I did not know there was like a cutoff.
Yeah, 20
20
years.
years.
So
I'm
people
learning.
give me so
For
much
the 2000 stuff,
for
huh?
the 2000 stuff.
It's
Oh,
vintage. Well, at least 2003
It's
and
crazy.
below.
I'm sorry you're
Yeah.
super old and don't think you're vintage. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Do you
I'm
ever
kidding,
get the comments that are like, I was born in 86. Am I vintage?
Yes, get over it.
No,
Like-
but I mean, like, I'm sorry, like, Juicy Couture is vintage. Even places like Forever 21, they've been around for years. Like, I think like over
So
80
weird
years.
to
So
think.
even Forever 21 can be vintage. And
Yeah.
I see resellers, vintage resellers that have Forever 21. And Forever 21 vintage is actually very cool and good quality because back then they used to care about their quality.
They lasted longer.
So it's still alive after like 20 years, you know? So yeah, I mean, I made a video on TikTok talking about pricing, like, and how much we price things. And oh God, everyone got so mad at us. But just because I don't think people realize like what goes behind it. You're not just buying the item, you're paying for rent, you're paying for space, you're paying for the labor.
You're
like,
also paying a percentage to the seller, like the resellers. Like there's an up price because of that.
yeah, like the person who sold us the item,
Yeah.
like they're charging more because they're wholesalers. So they need to make a living from it as well. So they need to be paid. Our employees need to be paid. The manager needs to be paid. Everyone needs to be paid. And also, ideally, I mean, yeah. And, you know, we're not just going to open a store and like, we got to do fair pricing too. In Miami, the minimum wage is insane.
What is it?
It's $12. I'm pretty sure we're still at $12.
That doesn't sound insane to me.
It's insane because it's the most expensive like living, like in like what is it?
Wait,
Like
are you saying insane low or insane
insanely
high?
low.
Okay.
Are you
okay.
crazy?
I thought you were saying it's insanely high. It's
What
Florida.
the
I don't
hell?
know.
No, it's so low because it's one of the most expensive cities and the lowest minimum wages. So
Yeah.
people can't live there.
Yeah. No, I completely misunderstood. I thought you were saying
Oh,
low.
oh my God. No.
Okay.
So yeah, so we want to be fair with our employees. We want to take care of everyone. And like, obviously we're not going to be paying people $12 the hour. That's insane.
Yeah, they need
Anyway,
more.
I mean, anyway, that's a whole other
You could
topic.
keep ranting about
But
this.
the main point was just to give a second life to vintage, which is what you do, which is amazing. And it's helping the planet. It's a sustainable way of shopping. And we're keeping vintage and color alive, and just design and quality was so much better back then. And if you know how to thrift, for example, because we go to thrifts, we have wholesalers, we source online. Like there's so many ways to find these items. Like if you know how to do that, then do that and get it at for the price we're getting it. But also some people don't want to do that. They just want to walk
Yeah, they want it easy.
in or want to go on a website and find, you know, they want it easy, like a little
I think
curated.
I'm that person.
Yeah, and
but
I mean, even I have my vintage store and I still buy from other vintage stores because I don't know, it's a
You love
cool
thrifting.
piece.
Well, let's see if we can find more hot topics to talk about after the break. More
Let's
drama.
do it.
Dani has even more to say after the break, but we also are going to have Q&As at the end of this. And so if you have any submission ideas, if you want a guest on, or you just have questions for us, go to accidentalexperts.com and tell us who you might want to see on the show next.
Yeah, I'm excited. Now follow along for this tea we're about to drop.
Yes, it's hot, piping hot tea.
And we're back. I feel like I was getting a little aggressive on that topic.
Keep going.
But I just want to say, like, I feel like not everyone is aware about this and isn't aware about, like, how vintage reselling works, or, I mean, anything really reselling. And
They're going to say, no one's aware of how anything works.
no, anything about, like, reselling, not everyone knows. And also, not everyone knows that buying secondhand and vintage items is sustainable. Which to me, in my brain, it's like, I know, like, I feel like it's silly to say that because I've been in it so long, but I know people aren't aware of that. So I think that's why I'm a little passionate about talking about that, because I feel like everyone needs to learn a little bit more about how to be more sustainable in this life. I mean, our planet is dying, people. No, I'm kidding.
You were supposed to end this on a happy note.
Oh my God.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying, like, yeah, like, this is a little learning experience.
It's a positive thing you can do for, like, consumption, and you're doing it in, like, the least offensive way.
And as we were saying, as Camille was mentioning, a lot of the new things are replicas of old things. So even the trends, like, you can even buy trends vintage or like secondhand. Like you'll find all the trendy items now
Yeah.
in
Are
like
all,
the
yeah,
second
vintage.
hand
You
and
might
vintage
just
stuff.
have to dig a little, but
Dig
you
a
will
little,
find
but
them.
yeah, like there's a whole like Y2K moment going on TikTok or like these like trendy clothes, and you could totally find that
At a
secondhand
Goodwill.
or at my store.
Yeah, at Dani's store in Miami.
Well,
on what street?
It's very curated though. If you like thrifting, go to the thrift store, do that. But yeah, we're
No, plug
curated.
yourself. Like, give the name Peachtree Revival.
Peachtree Revival is a vintage clothing store in Miami. We're working on the website, but yeah, we're more of a curated. It's more of like a luxurious way of shopping secondhand, because if you're not into the luxurious way, you can go to the thrift store, which I do all the time for myself and stuff, and like Camille does, and buy for ourselves. And yeah, you could find such cool things for like $4. Who wouldn't want that? That's a great deal.
Who would turn that down? Okay, I want to transition into another hot button issue, and that would be like the three of us. We are content creators. Like, gross sort of word. Some people hate influencers, and a lot of people want to know, how do we sustain ourselves financially by doing this? So it's interesting because, Camille, you have two different platforms that both have following, and I think people want to know, like, how does income work? Because on one of them, you are actively selling a product, you're selling items, but on your other, you're just posting about your own life and those things. How do you get income from either of these?
Well, my business, luckily, was actually my main source of income for a long time. 2023 has been very rough so far. It's been rough start, but we're chugging along. We're finding ways to manage. I didn't expect content creation to be such a large part of my income. I was focused on my business, and it kind of just fell into my lap in a way. It's a little crazy. It's been very dry for me this year, though, I do want to say.
Okay, but don't get scared, because I think it's just what's going on in the world.
With the state of the world, because I'm struggling.
Like, this is very personal. I have had like no income for like 2 months now. Like,
I was
nothing.
the same way. January and February, I was like, what am I gonna do? I lost my job.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the number one like scariest thing of being, a freelancer, being on your own and not having a 9 to 5 or working in corporate. I think that's like what keeps us on our toes. And, it could be a little scary sometimes because it's not consistent. So 1 month you can make $0, 2 months you can make $0, but then the next month you can make like the most money ever. So
I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for that month to happen.
Well, but it's like never consistent. So I kind of just like want to get to know. So how do you like balance those? Like, are you like, well, I know you said it was a little slow with both sides, but also don't get scared because it's literally happening to all of us. I feel like, well, freelancers, but so my question to you is like, how have you been balancing? Like, are you still selling stuff and like relying on resonant objects?
I still am relying on that. I still try to make it my priority, and we're really trying to grow it right now. We're actually doing a flea market tomorrow, so I'm pretty excited for that. I personally won't be there. My business partner will be there. I'm seeing MGMT tomorrow, so I can't make it.
They were my first concert ever when I was 16. Wow, that takes me back.
You gotta try and go.
Memories.
And with your business partner, do you split everything evenly? How does that work?
It's all even. It's all 50-50, right down the middle. We try to do equal work. Sometimes I do more, sometimes she does more. We try to split it super evenly, as fair as possible. We don't have any employees, so it's not super complicated as of right now.
Tay and I split everything evenly.
And then the same, like some months Dani is way too busy, other months I'm having mental breakdowns, and like we pick up the slack for each other.
You take care of each other.
Yeah. It works out super well. I love you.
Yeah. I love you more. So talk to us a little bit about your collabs, because you mentioned that you didn't think most of your income would be coming from collaborations.
I didn't. When I added it all up last year, I was like, wow, it was kind of incredible, because the amount of money that I made doing collabs last year totally outweighed my last full-time job that I had. And that's when it kind of hit me. God. My last full-time job, I was making $40K social media manager in LA. Not a lot to live here, to be honest.
Was that a corporate job or was that a freelancer job?
I was an employee technically it was a small company, so nothing big, but
you were like as an employer.
Yes. But that's kind of when it hit me, like, wow, like I just made my entire like 9 to 5 salary making content online, and that was really crazy to me because
And
I had never had a year like that before.
Yeah, so that's when it hit you like, okay,
I can do this.
Yeah,
full
and
time.
like my hard work is really paying off, you know?
No, I'm super thankful to be able to do creative things daily, you know. I've done the retail life. I've been like the retail whatchamacallit?
Salesperson?
I've done sales, but the fitting rooms. I've been the fitting room girl, you know, with the full like rack of clothes, doing
yeah,
go
like
backs,
your-
you know.
the
I can't even
go-backs.
think of the name for it right now.
Because you blocked it out. It's too traumatic. Not the go
it
backs.
was very traumatic. It was not fun. That was the hardest job I ever had, honestly. It was working retail minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel so lucky right now.
There's a lot of, I guess, not questioning, but people are very curious. How, as a full-time content creator, do we get paid? And like there's brand deals, obviously, but there's also a lot of other avenues. And I feel like we could get into the nitty gritty of this. Like you and I, Dani, can talk about this in detail in like our own episode. But there's other avenues such as affiliate links and doing collaborations, capsule collections. It's what you're doing for both of your channels. Are you doing strictly brand collabs? Is that how you're getting all your money? Or are you doing any other like side in streams?
I'm strictly brand collabs. I loved Instagram Reels when they paid.
My God.
yeah.
Oh yeah, like when the apps
That
pay
was
you
very
for
cool.
views.
Yeah.
It was like TikTok has the creator fund where you get paid just for views, and Instagram was copying them. And
Yes.
they
But
did
Instagram was paying more than TikTok, which is why
Instagram was
everyone
paying
headed
more.
over to Instagram.
Yeah.
But that was their whole point. They were like, we need to compete with TikTok's creator fund. So they created their own fund, which paid better, but they suspiciously just stopped it while TikTok was in the Congress. Like, while
no,
there was,
they literally stopped it because they thought TikTok was going to be taken down.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. So now none of us
Yeah,
creators get paid anymore.
But now YouTube has come out with Shorts, and YouTube is the highest paying platform. Are you on YouTube?
Not really.
You should go to
no.
Shorts.
just like
tricky.
repost it on YouTube Shorts.
It's tricky because TikTok has started paying you for videos over a minute long.
Yeah.
And
I didn't
And
know
it
that.
pays higher, but it
That's-
has to be over a minute.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
that's the one that I'm on with TikTok, the beta program.
Yeah, it's something brand new.
But it's tricky because the TikTok videos have to be over a minute and shorts have to be under a minute.
Yeah.
So you have to edit the video specifically for the app now.
They are absolutely doing that on purpose so people
It's
can't
crazy.
repost. But a thing about the new TikTok beta payment thing, they're advertising it as we pay way more if you join this beta program, but they don't say how much. And then also it says in the fine print, if you switch over to this beta program, you will never be able to switch back into our normal creator fund.
They're like scamming you.
So it's like you have to commit to this beta program. You don't know how much you're going to get paid, but apparently it's way more, and you won't be able to go back to our creator fund after. But all content has to be over 1 minute. And as we know, shorter content performs better on TikTok. So I haven't joined it yet.
As of lately, I've been watching like 7-minute videos.
It blows my mind when a viral video
Oh my God.
is like 3 minutes long. I'm like, who sat there and watched all
You
this?
know what,
7
though?
minutes.
It's me when I'm at the gym.
Yes.
You just have TikTok like playing.
I do have you heard of the like 12-3-30 workout?
Yes.
I
That's
do
the
that. I do that
Andronicos.
4 times a week. It's gotten me back in shape after COVID,
Whoa.
I swear. But
amazing.
I set my phone down and I watch TikToks the entire time and it makes it go by so fast.
Yeah,
and
so
the
like
more
the longer ones are better.
the longer ones are
Whoa.
better, the more entertaining. I love the juicy like drama like videos
Yeah.
while I'm doing that.
That's funny. I'm like on movie TikTok right now. So it's like
Where it shows you
literal
a full
long.
movie.
It's like
part
literal
1, part
clips.
7, part
Wait,
27.
they're doing full movies?
Dude,
They're like, oh, that's like YouTube.
You
That's
scroll through and you watch every part.
No, it's like they're like screen recording a movie, I guess, and now you're watching like, I don't know, Euphoria on TikTok, and they're putting like all of them and they're like
What?
7 minutes long. So I'm like, damn, I just watched the entire episode.
I don't know about you, but the ones on my feed are like, the woman said to the boy, like,
Oh my God, I know what you're talking about. I've been seeing like the real ones, like they're just the episodes. And there's also like
The fake
weird
voiceover.
short summaries.
They put like this voiceover, but it's not an audio from TikTok. Like I don't know where that audio is coming from because it's the
Who's
weirdest.
doing the voiceover? I need to know.
No, it's like a robot. It's like if it was like a machine, but
Yeah.
oh my god, that voice makes me I can't watch them because the voice makes me so uncomfortable. It's so weird.
How
And
are you two both on the same FYP
I
and
don't
I'm just
know.
over here
I
in a
don't
different
know.
world?
Are you on weird TikTok at all?
Oh my god, that's my boyfriend. I can't stand his page. I'm
My
like,
boyfriend's on weird TikTok. I don't feel like floating hot dogs and just like psychedelic, like trippy, like
or like weird zoom ins of chihuahuas.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is so chaotic. My feed is, I actually don't really watch my feed. I find
which is very healthy.
it honestly is healthier, but
It is
it's
good.
like I don't know what's going on really. I don't know what the trends are. I'm very just in my own bubble, and to protect my own mental health, I don't really watch it that much because
That's fair.
I think that's the way to go with social. With
yeah,
being
but
a content
then I don't
creator.
get to know about this annoying robot.
I feel like it's
voice.
like a good. I don't like to say balance. I feel like when you say balance, you're sacrificing things. I'm not the type of person to say you have a balance, but there is a good like. You literally don't watch anything, so then you don't see the trends and stuff, and you got to keep up. So that's why I'm there, and I'm like sending her the trends and being like, "Tay, you have to do this." But there's also balance where I get addicted to it, and then I'm like, "Oh my god, I can't stop watching TikTok." So
the doom scroll.
you know,
Mhm.
Mhm.
yeah. So you just got to be self-aware. I feel like, and just like limit yourself a little bit.
That's asking a lot.
Yeah, you just stay off that. I mean, that's
Honestly,
why you have
I'll
me.
keep doing me. Yeah.
Anyway, we got a little sidetracked about social media. I love talking about this, but I do want to talk about some collabs you've done. Like, if you feel comfortable talking about
Sure.
them, like, who has been your favorite collab, or what brands have you been able to collaborate with?
My favorite one was actually in January. I collaborated with Houseplant and Airbnb, and I got to hang out with Seth Rogen.
Wait, I saw
I
that.
I saw people do that. I was so jealous.
It was so cool. I mean, he was only there for like maybe 30 minutes, but very nice, genuine guy, like
Oh my-
dad energy.
I love Seth
He
Rogen.
was so cool. I was like, out of all the celebrities besides like Harry Styles, I was starstruck by Seth Rogen.
I
He
love
is
him.
such a
Doesn't he
sweetheart.
make pots? Doesn't he like?
ceramics for weed, like,
he like
he's
makes
such
ceramic.
a
Like
giant-
his entire Instagram is like a ceramic page. It's
and he's
so
very
cute.
talented. It's like the
He
cutest thing
is.
ever.
No, I'm obsessed with that. So how did that work? Did they invite you to tour the space and you had to make a video about that, and that's how you got paid?
Yeah, so we didn't even know he was gonna be there. They hinted at it. They were like, "Oh, he might be there," and I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna get my hopes up." But I invited my boyfriend to come with me, and it was at this like luxurious house in the Hollywood Hills, and they basically just wanted me to promote the fact that this experience was gonna be on Airbnb. I think they ended up pricing it at like $42, so kind of like $420, you know, like $42.00.
The night for
A night.
So you had to kind of like go there, do like a house tour, make a video, and then
Not
post
even a
it.
house tour, really.
No?
I kind of just filmed around, had fun, had cocktails, met Seth Rogen. We made pottery.
So you got paid to meet Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, obviously when people are like, these are like the dream jobs, it's like, yeah, that sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
People aspire to be content creators or influencers because you see these cool activations and activities, and it's like, that is the dream. You get to be paid to meet Seth Rogen.
It was kind of insane. I was kind of surprised I was selected out of everyone in LA, to
Don't
be
be
honest.
surprised.
I was though. I was like, you want me to come to this? Like me?
You worked
There-
hard for this.
There's such cooler people out there, but I was
There
like,
was a reason they picked you.
I was just like, man, this is unreal. Like,
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm just here with Seth Rogen.
I mean, I
Like,
would have freaked out if I saw Seth
I was
Rogen.
kind of surprised you guys weren't there, but I think it was like an LA local type of situation.
Yeah. So at these events, you are also able to like connect with other
Oh,
content
totally.
creators,
But
right?
I'm very shy. I'm an introvert.
So you
sometimes-
didn't like really mingle with them?
No, I need to work on it. I really do. Like if I was to see you guys at an event and it wasn't today, I'd probably be too scared to go up to you. I would.
No.
I would. I'm very shy.
No, that
Yeah.
is a really cool aspect about like this show we're doing. I was
Mhm.
thinking about it while we were prepping, like outside getting dressed. And I was like, this is so cool. We get to actually meet and talk to other creators that we think are cool. And normally we don't get that experience. Like you don't get one-on-one time with other
That's
creators.
true.
We're all on our phones in different parts of the world. And so we know each other digitally, but now we get to meet people in person. It's
Yeah,
so cool.
and meet people we've been following for so long, because I feel like these first couple of people we've both been following, or like you've been following and I've been following. I've been following. You were one of the first people I ever followed.
way.
I swear, you and your business partner. I don't remember it, and I'm pretty sure I've been following all the Instagrams from you, but all the Instagrams since the beginning, because I originally, before wanting to do a vintage clothing store, I wanted to do a vintage furniture store. And so I really got into like doing my research, but also just getting inspired by other people who were already doing it. And you were one of the first people.
Sense. Like we said, this is 100% like Dani style. Like
Yeah.
so much
I need to
similarity.
visit your store. I've never been to Miami.
You should come.
I know I need to.
Miami's a cool place. It's different, but it's cool.
I know, I haven't gone either.
You haven't
I'm like,
gone.
what the
That's
hell?
kind
She
of
has to come.
surprising.
I'm literally going like
You
next
have a
week. I'm
place
going to
to
stay with
stay.
her. Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, so I know you've had this amazing experience with Airbnb and Seth Rogen, but what are other, like, was that like your bigger type of project, or was that a smaller one?
That
like,
was
what
definitely a bigger project.
what is a smaller project
I'm
to
trying
you?
to like think back of
Well, not
when-
project, guys. We're talking about collaboration, so we're not.
Yes.
collabs.
You know what? My dining table behind you, or my whole like dining kind of setup, the chairs, the table. I partnered with this brand, Kayo. They're like an online kind
Whoa.
of thrift
Whoa,
situation.
I know that
resale.
name.
So that your dining set was a collab.
Yes,
It's
And it's
stunning.
vintage?
it's vintage. So it's a vintage like
Whoa.
online kind of resale
Vintage
store.
collab.
I've never heard about it, and that's like stunning. So
But-
how does that?
That was a godsend when I moved in here. I was so broke moving into this apartment just from like moving,
So
moving costs.
expensive.
It's so, it's
Yeah.
so crazy expensive to move. So I was so grateful to have like a full dining set delivered to my door. That was a very cool collab. That's very up my alley,
And so how do you have a manager?
I don't.
So how do you know
You're doing
how
this
to-
all yourself.
I know.
Yeah.
And how do you know how to charge, or like what to
I
charge?
don't.
That's so difficult.
I
That part makes me so
don't.
nervous. That's why I got like an agent or a manager, because I'm like, it makes me so anxious to try and talk about like my worth, or like try and negotiate like I'm worth this, and then they come back and counter, and I'm like, oh, what do I say?
I definitely lowball myself a lot. I know that for a fact.
No.
Yeah,
no.
I do.
You can't. I feel like in this industry, especially in social media, I feel like, especially when you start off, you start lowballing yourself. You have
because
no idea
you're
what
worried
you're worth.
about like, oh, I'm gonna lose this
You're
opportunity.
always worried about losing the opportunity because, this isn't consistent, or income isn't consistent. So I feel like that's the top thing, especially when you don't have a manager. You're just scared you're going to lose them.
It's
Yeah.
really scary. They'll email me and offer something, and I'm like, man, that's like really low, but I'm really scared they're just gonna totally drop me
Yeah.
if this doesn't go through. And I'm like, oh, that's my rent right there. Like, I'm desperate.
And so you end up just accepting it, even
Yeah.
though you know that they're
No, that happens a
like-
lot, and it's unfortunate because it's not fair to other people. It
Yeah.
throws all the rates off.
Yeah.
It really does.
If one person, I mean, I was a freelancer in post-production as my normal job, and if anyone accepts a lower day rate for production or post-production, that messes up all the rates in the area, because all
Oh my God,
freelancers have to
that
compete with a low
happens to
rate.
Bello, my boyfriend, all the time. Like his friends and assistants
Yeah,
in the industry.
it's people need to stop accepting
Mhm.
being underpaid, because that affects everyone's
Everyone else.
pay.
especially the freebies. Stop taking the freebies.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's so tough.
So
I would
how-
suggest you get an agent, because I'm with you
I've
on like the
tried.
anxiety, and
I haven't connected with anyone yet.
I guess, yeah, honestly, I've had a bad experience with the agent that I like signed into a contract with, and it was a massive regret when I first started. And so it is really
I
important
feel like
that
it is
you
a really
pick-
iffy topic. Yeah. I mean, not topic, like thing to do as a content creator.
you
you
got to pick a
really-
right one.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, some people would way rather be on their own because they got their own backs. But if you're doing that, you can't undercharge because
Yeah.
you are
No.
worth it.
Luckily, there are websites now that kind of, you can leave like creator reviews for brands and say how much you were paid and review
What?
other people's.
What? So is that how you've learned
I
how
do.
to charge?
I always check out those. There's two different sites that I use. There's FYP Me, which is a
Whoa.
website.
I
You
have
could
no idea.
literally like, let's say,
Look
I don't
up
know.
a brand like Urban
Give me-
Outfitters.
yeah. Let's say Urban Outfitters. I have this following. They paid me this much for this amount of work. And
Oh
then you
my
can
God.
rate like
How it was working with
how
them.
it was working with them. So
oh
I
my,
go on those a lot.
I had no idea that was a thing.
I want to
Yes.
binge that tonight. We're just going to be on
Is this
that.
like a new thing, or has it
I
been around?
discovered it in like the last 6 months. There's another app called Clara for creators. Same exact thing. Slightly different reviews depending on, you know, who's written on it. But
Wait, that's people
Well,
are going
okay.
to be obsessed with
I
that because
feel- I
everyone
feel
wants to
like
know
it
how much do you
might-
get paid.
Yeah, I feel like that's an amazing tip. Thank you for sharing
yeah,
that.
I use that. So I'll get an email from a brand and I'll see like if anyone similar following size
Yeah.
has worked with them, what they were paid, what the scope of work is. So then I know like, okay, I can ballpark like this range, you know, maybe I can pitch myself even better and try to get a better rate, but you never know.
That is the best
very
tip I've
cool.
ever
That
heard.
is a very important tip. I'm
That
glad
would've-
that we got that in here.
Yeah, it would have been amazing if that was around when we started, because I had no idea how to charge. I was like really
You were
undercharging.
screwing everything up.
I was really undercharging.
No, you guys, you're gonna go on there, look up every single brand you've ever worked with, and kind of
That's
just
amazing.
scope it out.
So I guess my last question would be kind of like talking about everything. I know you also do content creation, but mainly as a reseller. What would you advise, or what are your biggest tips if someone wanted to get into vintage reselling?
Be very, very organized from the get-go. Excel sheets, know your money, do your taxes correctly.
Taxes are important.
It's very terrifying. It's
Mhm.
very scary. And my biggest tip, I'm trying to remember exactly what it's called, but there's something available in the United States called like the small business SBCC or something. I'm trying to think of what the exact name
Okay.
is.
Mm-hmm.
Free small business help for anyone that's a small business. Lawyers,
Oh,
tax
like
prep,
what?
I have
money
needed
management.
lawyers.
They will help you with writing yourself grants, you know, or applying for grants, not writing
This is
yourself
another
grants.
amazing
These are the amazing tips from Camille.
This is something I discovered like in the last 2 months, and I wish I had known from the get-go. There is
Whoa.
free help out there.
That's amazing.
I
Thank you
will try to find the exact name for you guys, because
But
I
I
can't
mean,
remember
that's
what
just
it's called.
like anyone could just go online maybe and just like look that up and
It's
find
like
it.
SBDC or
Yeah.
like SBCC, something
Oh
like
my God.
that.
Camille, thank you so much. Like
Thank
those
you
were
for that,
amazing
yeah.
tips. I'm like shocked
I'm
because
glad
I
you
had
asked
no
that
idea.
last question.
Yeah, I also have a small business. Like maybe I should look into
No,
that.
you really should.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
That's amazing. And so how can everyone that's listening find you online on social media?
Resident Objects for vintage and Camille Lenore for anything else.
And your website is resident.
objects.com.
Perfect.
Oh,
Thanks
thank
so
you
much
so
for
much.
having
you.
us. Whoa, those tips were actually insane and so helpful for me because I have a small business, my vintage clothing store, and I had no idea that was even a thing. So thank you, Camille, for giving these
Yeah.
amazing tips.
I mean, I feel like we were fawning over her at the end of that, of just like, you just blew our mind with these tips, but I can't believe we didn't know these things.
And that was amazing. We're so appreciative over her letting us even come into her house. It's absolutely beautiful. And just let us speak about these things that I feel like not a lot of people speak about
and
publicly.
things that like you're passionate about, and that's kind of what the podcast is going to be. We're going to have like little interjections of things that we deeply care about.
Yeah, I got a little aggressive on there, but I was very passionate about the conversation. Anyway, we're currently sitting in our rental car in LA, and we were just like reflecting back on our last project that we just actually came
Or like
back
literally
from.
our last few days, our few weeks. Like Camille was saying, she can't believe that we are functioning, because that's how everyone in our lives feels. They keep saying like, how are you two like alive right now because of what we've just done. We just worked in Australia for like 2 weeks straight. Like I would wake up at 5 a.m. We would work till 8 p.m. We would barely eat because we'd be doing physical labor all day designing someone's home.
Yeah,
And-
and the time change was really, really crazy. So actually, I came back a week early, and Tay got here 2 days ago, and she's not even jet lagged, which I don't
Yeah.
understand.
I don't know. I just operate off of
She's
zero
A
sleep.
wizard, Harry. You're a
I'm a
wizard.
wizard.
I don't understand. When I got back, I was fully like
You
dying.
looked like a zombie.
My eyeballs were like gonna fall out.
They were like sunken in and dark.
They're still really dark. But anyway, that was a really fun project to work on. It
So
was
that's like, a little insight into like this. We
Yeah.
are having our real lives happening while we're doing these projects, and it's juggling a lot. But I thought this would be so stressful like getting in all these interviews, but it's been like incredibly fun meeting everyone.
Very fun. And I mean, I feel like now looking back at the project, it was a little bit of a lot, but
It was a little bit of a lot. Like extremely a little bit of a lot.
Extremely a little bit of a lot, because there was so much going on. You know, elevator broke and stuff. We were carrying stuff up the stairs, and we were decorating the space in a week, or we were there for 2 weeks.
It was supposed to be 1 week, but everything went wrong, and so it ended up being more 2 weeks. And
so that was crazy, but we got it done, and it was just so funky and fun, and we'll be talking about that.
Should we do like a full? We'll do a full episode, kind of giving more of the scoop on that, because there's a lot to talk about.
Anyway, so you guys have been asking us some questions,
so anyone who wants to be featured in our next episodes for Q&A, you can go to accidentalexperts.com and you can submit voice memos, photos of projects, and also submit people who you want to see us interview next. You can send us just regular questions. You don't have to have your voice on here, so just go for it. Tell us anything.
Okay, so the question is, are you and all your friends extroverts? How can one do this if they're really introverted? I think that's a really good question. And
is that assuming that all of our friends are doing this, though? A lot of your friends are.
Well, yeah, okay, but let's just pretend they're asking about you and I. Well, they are, but I guess they're assuming all our friends. Yeah. But they're saying, how are we so extroverted, and how can you do it if you aren't extroverted?
Mm-hmm.
And
oh my God, Camille is a perfect example.
No, I wouldn't say I'm extroverted. Listen, this is
new.
Up. This is new. I have always been an introvert my entire life. And really, since I'm so used to it, I still feel like I'm an introvert. But I guess now I can't really call myself that because we are doing all of these things. But I feel like once you expose yourself
exposure
to
therapy,
this, then you start becoming, more of an extrovert. So I feel like I've done that transition over the past few months. This is kind of recent that I've been traveling, meeting people, having to, talk to people, us doing a podcast. Old Dani would have fucking puked.
You actually are on the verge of puking a lot.
Yeah. And Tay knows, we're talking about it. I get very nervous. I'm like a nervous type of person, no matter what it is. And even though I am like self-aware that I shouldn't be nervous, like let's say like we're going into a podcast interview and I'm like, I shouldn't be nervous. This is our podcast, but I'm still nervous. I'm like, what is my body? It's like my body that's nervous and not my mind. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm going to puke,
but in my mind, I'm like,
side effects of, but I'm like, why am I nervous? So I still have a lot to work on. I think meditating, doing yoga, doing things that really make you happy help with that. Like, I really think when I started doing yoga, I really got better with like breathing and stuff. So I don't know.
So it's something you've like grown into and you've gotten better over time with being an introvert, being in the public eye.
Yeah. And I feel like exposure, like exposing yourself to these environments for sure.
Yeah.
Like
it forces you to get used to it, get comfortable with it.
And don't be fooled. Like not everyone online is an extrovert. Like I feel like most
there's so many
people,
like influencers, like we've been told when you go to an influencer event, like do not expect the people you see online to be how you view them online. Like they can, a lot of the times they're a 180 from what they present online because they're alone in their room talking to a camera. They're so hyped and comfortable. Mm-hmm. But when they're in a setting of like, oh, you're at a party, they freeze up.
So
and
so I don't
on their phone the whole time, like not making eye contact.
Yeah, so not everyone online is an extrovert either. I feel like most are introverts, and like going to events and stuff, there's like always a few people who, I'm that type of person who doesn't, I don't know, I get nervous at events.
I feel like you're nervous about this question. You're getting nervous answering.
No, I'm not trying to say all social media people. I can't.
# not all social media influencers.
Yeah, like I can't really talk for others, but I guess what about you, Tay?
Me, I don't know. I have such a boring answer.
No.
I don't know.
No, you're an extrovert. You don't really get nervous like about meeting people. You are easy to talk to. So you don't like freak out. You are like ongoing. Like you'll approach someone to speak to them. Like you and Bello's my boyfriend. You guys got along so quickly. You've never even met and you'll like call him and like talk to him.
Yeah.
So that's like
Bello.
an extrovert type thing. I wouldn't really go out of my way to talk to someone
that you don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it really freaks me out.
Yeah, I can't picture you doing that.
Exactly. So it really freaks me out. But I'm working on it, you guys. I really am. I think it's also an ego thing.
Oh, explain further. What?
Because I feel like you have to be really secure about yourself to approach others and be like, hi, how are you?
Definitely. Yeah. Because if you're insecure, that's when you don't want to like interject and take up space.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you guys for that question. I feel like that was an amazing question. You guys can also ask us more. But I also wanted to say that your support means the world to us. And if you enjoyed this episode, give it a like and subscribe. I feel like a YouTuber
But
now.
also just, leave reviews.
Yeah,
I think
leave
that's
a
a big
review
one.
and subscribe if you guys enjoy this because it really helps us. We're a traveling podcast, so it helps
tell
us
us
travel.
how beautiful you think our voices are in the comments.
And we really enjoyed this, so thanks so much, and thank you to the amazing crew we're working with.
Oh my God, yeah, we could not do this without them. Our management team, DBA, and our podcast team, Human Content. We love you guys.
This has been amazing. Stay tuned for the next episode.
Bye. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments.
If you're enjoying Accidental Experts, click over there to watch more episodes, and don't forget to subscribe to follow the journey.